Let me tell you a shocking story. This story is about human depravity, madness. In November 1781, a ship called the Zong left the coast of Africa. On board were 470 enslaved Africans, packed into spaces where they could barely move. The captain was supposed to take them to Jamaica to be sold, but he made a critical navigation error. The ship got lost to sea and supplies began running low. What happened next would shock you. As water supplies dwindled on the Zong, Captain Collingwood made a calculation that shows the horrific reality of the slave trade. The thing is, back then, if enslaved people died naturally on board, the ship's owners would lose money. But if they were thrown overboard to save the rest, that was considered a business necessity covered by insurance. The captain gave the order. His decision wasn't about survival, it was about profit. For over 10 days, 133 human beings were thrown into the Atlantic Ocean. Some were sick, most were healthy. When some tried to hold on to the ship, refusing to be thrown to their deaths, the crew forced them off. As the Zong finally approached Jamaica, 17 more people were selected to be thrown overboard. Why? Anyway, the crew only stopped because of an approaching storm. These weren't statistics, my people. These were people with families, dreams, and futures. Here's the most shocking part of the Zong massacre. No one was ever charged with murder. Instead, the ship's owners filed an insurance claim for their lost cargo. When the insurance company refused to pay, the owners actually sued them. In court, the case of Gregson versus Gilbert wasn't about justice for 133 murders. It was about whether the insurance company had to pay. This shows exactly how the system viewed enslaved people as property, not humans. The Zong massacre didn't end with the court case. When abolitionists like Oluwado Equiano and Granville Sharp heard about it, they made sure the public knew too. This case became a turning point in the fight against slavery. 26 years later, Britain abolished the slave trade, I must say. Today, we remember the lives lost in the Zong through memorials, books, and by telling their story. History isn't just about remembering. It's about understanding how far we've come and how far we still have to go. The end, right? Nah. Some people out there will ignore all this evidence. Who needs primary sources, historical documents, or entire museums dedicated to the slave trade? Just close your eyes, plug your ears, and say, nope, that didn't happen. Easy, right? I hear you call it a conspiracy. Of course, because obviously millions of people across centuries just made it up. It's not like there are ships, logs, financial records, or entire economy built on slavery. Nope, it's just a big hoax, like the moon landings or birds.
No.
Did you say,
But my ancestors didn't own slaves?
yeah, make it all about you? But my ancestors didn't own slaves. Cool story, Karen. Neither did mine. But that doesn't mean we get to pretend it didn't happen. But hey, if it makes you feel better, go ahead and center yourself in a conversation about centuries of systemic oppression. You do you. And some will say,
Oh boy, it was so long ago.
sure, play the "it was so long ago" card. The effects of slavery and racism are still felt today in housing, education, healthcare, and policing. But who cares? It was like forever ago. I mean, I can't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So how could anyone still be affected by centuries of systemic violence? Some people will tell you racism ended in 1865. Yay, racism is over, folks. Problem solved. Nah, those are just myths perpetuated by people who want to feel like victims. Racism is over. Pack it up, we did it. We did it. We did it. So, who needs history when you can rewrite it to fit your narrative? Slavery, racism, I have never heard of them. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to deny climate change and the resistance of dinosaurs. You don't understand, right? No problem.